Ladies and gentlemen, we are on to week 8. We are going to go over week 7, but we are joined today by the undefeated Penn State Nittany Lions head coach, Austin Cook. Austin, how's it going? I mean, obviously a big win to discuss in week 7. How are we feeling so far this season?
Uh, Honestly, so far this season, I don't think I've played my best football yet. Uh,
Mm,
Georgia, I think if I played that game on a neutral site, I think homeboys beat. That dude's pretty good. I might almost choked that game, but the best is yet to come.
okay, yeah. I mean, just to kind of overview the season so far. I mean, 2 or 3 user games now, and then you had kind of a second half interesting performance against Georgia where you looked really good in the first half and things kind of fell apart in the second. But the user games outside of that have been pretty much in control for Penn State. I mean, how are you going to translate, kind of the bad woes you had in the second half to the end of the season, the Big Ten conference games you had to play?
Well, the big thing I did against Georgia was I let my foot off the brake.
Mm,
I started running the ball a lot more, and kind of I need to be a little more aggressive in the second half. I Against Kansas, I didn't do that because it was already like 42-0 at halftime. So I just ran shoe clock the whole second half. But I need to scheme a little better, which I did a lot better against Kansas. So moving forward, be a little more aggressive and take points when I can get them too, because I've done that in the past. Not only this year, but in College Football 25, not taking points and securing wins that way as well.
I mean, so far this season, I mean, would you say you're about where the expectations of the Nittany Lions were? You say you're a little bit below, or do you think we were right on schedule to make a college football playoff appearance and go for a deep run?
I'm definitely gearing up for a deep run. Offensive wise, that boy Drew Aller sucks. If there was another quarterback on the roster that I trust, he would definitely be out of there. I threw 3 picks against Maryland with him, and they were all like his fault. Uh, but if I can build some momentum, especially I got a gauntlet this second half of the season. I play like 3 ranked teams, and I think most of them are on the road, I believe. Uh, so if I can really get through this gauntlet and play some solid football going into playoffs, I'm confident. Especially if I can end on a win. That's the big thing, ending the season on a win, because that's what happened with me last year. Just
Oh
needed
yeah.
one win.
All right. So, I mean, with that being said, let's go ahead and break down some of these scores that we had for week 7. We'll go over to your game first that you just played not too long ago. But first, I want to discuss, a pretty big upset. Well, we gotta show some love to our special ed American kids that we have, playing in the American. The 0-5 East Carolina Pirates upset the Tulane Green Wave 34-31. Huge win for ECU. I mean, getting that first win off your shoulders in the new dynasty and you beating a 25th ranked Tulane. That's no easy task. I mean, shout out to ECU here. Looks like they actually played 3 quarterbacks. Hauser got the most, but a good win for ECU. I mean, you know how it feels to get that first win off your back, especially when you're doing a rebuild. It's a tough task, right? It's a tough task to kind of had the gauntlet that they had at the beginning of the year that all these American teams had, and to get that first win is big for ECU. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the box score right now, looks like they had a pretty big lead going into the fourth and almost choked it, but definitely going into the fourth quarter in games like this, especially against a ranked opponent, is very important. And Tulane outgained them, but that's just because they were down. It looks like in the fourth quarter, and probably were just throwing the ball a lot more. But big win for East Carolina, and glad we're not going to have any defeated seasons.
Yeah, no one wants a defeated season. We want some competition in this. And in the American, we have 4 teams in there, so we want them all to be fighting for that college football playoff spot. The next game I have up is actually your game. Was Kansas at Penn State. Obviously, a very poor performance from Kansas. I would say at this point that they're pretty much written off as far as playoff hopes go, especially with a loss like that. Having 2 of those losses in the Big Ten pretty much puts you out of contention for the Big Ten playoff qualifier too. I mean, it looks like it was pretty much a complete domination. You know, I was told that Jaden Daniels or Jalen Daniels went down with an injury, and then quarterback David McComb came in and basically had a Nathan Peterman type performance where he was throwing about 6 interceptions. So probably not the competition that you wanted going into a tough Big Ten slate, but it was a solid win, obviously. Good stadium pulse game. You know how was the performance?
I mean, if you look at the stats, I mean, I only put up 363 yards of total offense. But if I wanted to, I could have just ran the ball down his throat all game. Like I easily could have had 300 rushing yards if I wanted to. But I mean, injuries are part of the game, unfortunately. Because I'm pretty sure it's running back is a star, but can't throw 5 picks. That's just you can't do it, especially against someone like me who will run the ball down your throat the whole game, and that clock will continue to tick.
I love
Uh,
it.
but our game yesterday before we desynced, actually, the score is actually 28-14 going into half.
Okay.
Yeah, I turned it up a little bit today, but he might have been high, like you mentioned to me earlier. Uh, but that definitely could have played a part in it. But I would love to play him. I wish our game yesterday didn't desync, but overall, I think he's not a bad player. It's just can't turn the ball over. That was a difference in this game was turning the ball over.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's self-destruct mode in terms of that when you get down a certain number of scores, anyways, whether you're inebriated or not, it just makes you kind of want to give up, especially in an environment where stadium pulse is going to affect you down more than those scores. It kind of is insurmountable, especially where the better players in the dynasty they're going to choke the life away. They're not gonna leave you any room to come back in that game. So solid win for Penn State. Next on our list, we had South Carolina at Arkansas. South Carolina actually defeats Arkansas. This was the Penn State of last year's dynasty. South Carolina, after struggling against a couple of SEC opponents in their first couple of games, they get a huge win against a undefeated Arkansas going into this game. I'm sure this is the one that Coach Noah wants back, especially going into an SEC gauntlet where he's going to have a lot of users to end the season, but just a terrible defensive performance on both sides. I mean, we had about 1,100 yards of total offense here. Arkansas got nothing going on the ground, only 13 yards on the ground. Just one that you're gonna look back and you're gonna want back in terms of playoffs, especially like I said with the gauntlet coming up. What are your thoughts on that one?
So no one's South Carolina in this dynasty, correct?
Correct, correct.
Uh, yeah, the big thing here is you can't lose games to the CPU, especially this late into the season. But as someone who's played this dude multiple times, I'm not looking forward to playing him at some point because this man, the first time we played, beat me in overtime, and then the second game it was not like that. But we can't be losing to the CPU. We can't give up 148 yards on the ground. That's my big takeaway looking at stats right here in front of me. But 615 total yards of offense for South Carolina. Yeah, we got to make a stop here and there, especially against the CPU.
But overall, this is just gonna be a game that Arkansas wants back. I mean, everyone has blunders against the CPU every once in a while. I mean, these dynasty games they're important, especially when it comes to because you have 5 or 6 user games per year. You know, you might drop a couple of those. So, I mean, there's a game he probably wants back. I mean, there's another CPU upset that we have later, but first we had two American Conference opponents going at it. The Liberty Flames beat the Ohio Bobcats 43 to 21. Both solid. You had 300 yards of offense apiece. It just looks like Liberty ran away with this game in the third quarter, outscoring Ohio 14 to 0, and it kind of looks like that was the end of the Bobcats. There is right after halftime. Nothing really notable here as far as stats go. I mean, Vasco had a solid game for Liberty, throwing 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. Ohio, the story here was interceptions. Navarro had 3 of them.
Mhm.
So Good win for Liberty. They're looking like the standout team in the American so far. I believe they are 3-0 in conference, so they're making a very strong bid for the American Conference. I believe they still have to play Charlotte, which has been hit or miss, but he has a very solid player there. And then I can't remember if he has any other. I think ECU, but that should be one that Coach Roosh over there takes care of. But any notes on this game here?
I, just looking at stats, the one stat that is kind of crazy. Total plays, Ohio had 58 to Liberty's 25. I don't know how
Mm,
accurate that is, but it looks like Ohio dominated time of possession, but it just looks like it goes back to turnovers, potentially uncostly turnovers or untimely. Uh, I don't know either of these opponents. I don't think I do. But I know Liberty's squad probably overall wise was definitely probably a little higher than Ohio. But you gotta give it to them for sticking in there for as long as they did against an opponent like Liberty. But with 58 plays, you would expect to win the game.
yeah, I mean that's time of possession right there. Overall, you expect time of possession that you're gonna if you have that significant of a number of plays, you should expect to win. But it looks like Liberty had the bigger plays and Ohio had more turnovers, so that's gonna have a recipe for disaster for Ohio and good for Liberty. But the next one we had was another American Conference game. This was a top 25 ranked Memphis. Went into Charlotte, and Charlotte, who has just been struggling all year, can't get things going. We talked recently. It apparently like has been a hurricane in Charlotte every time Charlotte football is playing. And as you've seen, and it's not easy to play in the rain, especially as a group of 16. But they fall 21-14 in Memphis. A big story here was the third quarter in which Memphis outscored Charlotte 15-0. Nothing too much as far as offense goes. Charlotte was 2 for 10 on third down. It looks like it was a pretty heavily defensive oriented game. It just Charlotte with two interceptions to Memphis's one. And that third quarter really killed him here. But I mean, the season's pretty much over for Charlotte here. We're just trying to see if we can rally the troops and make a bowl game. Have to win five of the last five to make it, and then try to do something on the recruiting trail. But any thoughts here?
N Nothing to note, and just passing attempts. Charlotte had 45. I can't see how many completions their quarterback had, but you would think with 45 pass attempts, maybe there'd be a little more offense. It looks like there was nothing going on the ground, and against ranked opponents, if you can't get anything going on the ground, it's kind of hard to win, especially with a team like Charlotte. Overall, they're just not a good football program. I'm sorry, 49ers fans out there. But yeah, running the ball would be my big takeaway. I mean, he had 39 rushing yards on 16 attempts, which is not great.
Uh, yeah, I mean, next up we had another user game, this time in the SEC. The Georgia Bulldogs, who have caught fire after they played you, have taken care of business against their opponents, especially at home. This time beating Vanderbilt 49-16. Pretty much another one where they run away with it. Vandy could get absolutely nothing going on the ground, only three rushing yards. Nothing really going in the passing game, only 219 yards of offense compared to Georgia's 564. Georgia's found a way to win on the ground and to play the strengths of this Georgia team, which is not going to be throwing the ball, 70 times a game. It's going to be running the ball. It's going to have a nice balanced attack. Not a great quarterback at Georgia. Gunnar Stockton is not the best, but this Georgia team is taking care of business. 49-16. They pretty much wallop Vandy here. Vandy three interceptions. Thoughts on this one?
Georgia's a really good player, as someone who's played him earlier in the year. This game in particular, he didn't get Delp involved, but after he did make a QB change and he didn't play Stockton, I think, in the second half
Mm.
of our game. And that seems to be the difference right now
Mm.
for him. But that boy Delp has been something else for him.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
I
sure he
know
had
I know well about Mr. Delp. Yeah, he
I
had
think he had over
300 yards on.
200 yards against me alone.
Yeah,
But the QB change here is the big thing for Georgia. I'm looking forward to playing him again. He'll probably beat me this time, unfortunately. I don't think I'm that great of a player in general, but he looks like he's found his groove, found his offense, got rid of Gunner. Assuming he's the equivalent of Carson Beck, because that dude's buns as well. And he's just
Yeah,
finding a way to get the ball to his playmakers,
I
especially
had never
Delp.
heard of the backup quarterback for Georgia, Poljilski or something like that. That's a different pull for me, but I mean, it seems to be working for Georgia. I'm sure that he's looking to continue it. He's five overalls less than Gunner, so I'm curious to see how that plays later on the season. We're still yet. I mean, Georgia's one true road test was Penn State. He lost that game, so we're looking to see towards the end of this SEC play how he fares away from Sanford Stadium, how he's doing in neutral sites. So that's something to keep an eye on here because Stadium Pulse is going to affect people that come in to these environments. So very curious to see how that plays the rest of the season. Next up, we had Wisconsin at Rutgers. Another game where Coach David, last year's Texas, is going to want back because he falls to Rutgers 31-28 in overtime. Um, Wisconsin's had a little bit of a lighter schedule. He was supposed to play Wake Forest. Wake Forest ended up not joining the league. So I don't think, I think he's may have played one user game or zero user games. So this is one where you're in the Big Ten. You want to take care of business so that when you get to these user games at the end, you have a little bit of room for error when it comes to making the Big Ten championship, making the playoff, and this is one that he's going to want back. I mean, Rutgers quarterback, I've never even heard of this dude. Threw for 370 yards, four touchdowns. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mr. Edwards Jr. threw two interceptions. Not a bad day with 335 yards, but once again, he's going to want this one back. Any thoughts here?
Uh, gotta beat the CPU. That's the big thing. There's no stats that really stick out in this game in particular, even though Wisconsin did have more total yards or on offense than Rutgers. I would love to see where this game was lost, in particular, because it was really close.
Yeah.
It looks like potentially turnovers was the yeah. Wisconsin had two, Rutgers had zero, and they seem to be uh, timely turnovers. It appears, especially outgaining Rutgers the whole game and somehow losing. But this guy's a good player too, so I'm he'll probably pick up a couple good wins towards the end of the season, and it'll be a tough outcome playoff time. He
I
shouldn't
mean,
be worried.
you've seen the kind of the last 5 weeks for a lot of these Big Ten schools. It's a gauntlet. A lot of us play each other at the end of the year, last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. If we're not playing each other in the Big Ten, we're probably playing the other top ranked teams in the Big Ten. So it's not going to be easy for a lot of us Ten teams down the stretch. Whereas the SEC is kind of the middle of the season, Big Ten's the end. Next up, we had Arizona State taking on Texas. It looks like this game was played not too long ago here. Texas win 41-21. Texas is making a bid for the best team in the SEC. Unfortunately, they had a unfortunate fair sim against Florida that they lost, but every user game they've taken care of business. This time beating a very offensive heavy Arizona State team. This is Miami from last year. He was fantastic offensively. Kind of limited here. 21. I mean, he still had 417 yards of offense. But it seems like Texas was able to put the points on, and they were kind of able to hold off. I mean, the story here to me, Austin, is the time of possession. 16 minutes for Texas here, 7 minutes 41 seconds for Arizona State. So can't score the ball in bunches when you don't have that much time of possession. So shout out to Texas here for getting this one done. Thoughts?
Uh, Arizona State, very good player on offense. Very, very good player. Very aggressive player too, if I remember correctly. So I played him week one. Um, Once this team gets a couple high overalls higher, he's going to be someone that this league is going to need to watch out for. And I'm wondering because we can't see it. I wonder how many times he went for it on fourth down and didn't get it. That
Mm,
will probably be, or that probably was the big difference in this game. Texas, I don't know. Was he in our dynasty last year?
He was not.
So that's someone I'm looking forward to playing, hopefully at some point. But if I was Arizona State, I think it's 2 losses on the year. Don't be worried, dude. You probably could have beat me week 1 if it wasn't at Penn State as well. And then yeah, Texas did what they needed to do too. 16 minutes time of possession. That's one way to win the game when you hold your opponent only 7. Uh, I would like to know what he did to do that because that's actually an insane difference. Uh,
Yeah, I
but
mean, not too much on the ground, so it looks like it was the kind of the short passing game, and just taking care of the clock. And
yeah,
I
there wasn't that many turnovers. Each team had one,
yeah,
so it wasn't like Arizona State turned over the ball a lot. But they do pass the ball a lot. They're a very, very uh, pass heavy team, and that's probably why the difference is so big. And
yeah. I
shoot
mean,
clock was probably on in the second half, I assume as well.
a lot of things to look forward to if you're Arizona State. That Sam Levitt has been very good this season. Once again, he's got 7 games still left to play. It's still a lot of the season to go. They got to start winning some user games here though. So this is a big time for Arizona State. Next up, we had Ohio State taking care of business at Illinois. I don't need to really discuss this one for too long. Ohio State takes care of business here. Third ranked team in the country, beating a Illinois team that's lost 2 in a row now, and beating them pretty handily. So shout out to Ohio State. Stan is doing very good things on the quarterback marker. 3 turnovers here for Ohio State. They want to clean that up, but still winning by 25 points. Or that's 25, right? Yeah. No, that's 35. Yeah, I'm stupid. 35 points while still turning the ball over 3 times is quite impressive. So good for them.
Yeah, not much to say here. Dude had 586 yards in the air. Did what he needed to do against Illinois. They were ranked coming into this game, I believe, but man, it's Illinois. They're not really known for football. Probably not a roster I would fear. Turnovers, yeah, need to clean them up. I had 3 against Maryland, which is a CPU game because Drew Aller sucks. Uh, but yeah, handling business like you need to. Ohio State. Looking forward to playing you later in the season.
Yep, it's going to be a big one 2 weeks from now. Kentucky, Oklahoma. Kentucky, after getting their ass kicked by Georgia, they go down 0-14 in the first quarter against this Oklahoma squad, who's also ranked. And then they turn on the Jets, doing the same thing in the second quarter, and then they escape the I don't even know where Oklahoma is in Oklahoma, to be honest. They go ahead and get the victory here, 30-21. Big news here, not big news here, but a lot of rush attempts in this game, 34 for Kentucky here. So they wanted to establish the ground game. And while not huge on the yards per rush, they're able to establish it and get the job done. So another big time of possession swing here is 16 minutes for Kentucky, 7 minutes for Oklahoma. So good for Kentucky. Get back on that SEC win train. Thoughts here?
It looks like he handled business after the first quarter. 8 of 12 on third down, which is awesome. Went 100% in the red zone. Only 1 turnover, and it was a fumble. Uh, and then dominated time of possession and running the ball 34 times. We'll do that. Good job taking care of business. And if I'm not mistaken, this guy's pretty good, isn't he? The
Yeah,
dude.
I mean for this Kentucky squad, they had pretty low expectations coming into the year, and they've gone 5-1. I don't think they've played the big names, Texas or Georgia in the SEC yet, but they will happen soon. Or no, they played Georgia last week and got smoked. But I mean, that was going into Georgia. They still have some other SEC users to play, but we'll see how they fare. I think they had a good win at South Carolina on the road, but so far exceeding expectations for this Kentucky team. Next up, last game to go over here was Maryland at Nebraska. Maryland gave this team a pretty big fight. Nebraska won this game 31-24. 28 carries for 120 yards for Nebraska. They shut Maryland down as far as the run game goes. two interceptions for Mr. Raiola. Otherwise, I mean, Nebraska, after handling business against Illinois, absolutely shutting them down, have a little bit of a closer game here, but I don't think there's anything necessarily to worry about for them. That's a little bit biased, of course, but this Nebraska team has found a way to win. They have a pretty solid formula, um, and yeah, I mean, thoughts here.
Well, I know you have a pretty solid roster, so I know this team's not bad. Uh, it looks like, yeah, you dominated probably time of possession in this game. And the big thing that sticks out is you held Maryland to 17 carries for a total of 23 yards, which is great. And your run D must be fantastic. But other than that, nothing really sticks out. You went 3 for 3 on fourth down, which is huge. Uh, and you only lost a turnover battle by one. But Maryland is a fairly good opponent. So nothing too crazy in this game. I do know you have fake Patrick Mahomes and Mr. Raiola, Mr. Imposter. It looks like you handled business, did what you need to, and got a good win against CPU.
Yeah, I mean, this Nebraska team is really going to come down to the stretch where they have to play Ohio State, Penn State, Kansas, Wisconsin, and one other opponent that I'm forgetting about. Michigan. I already played Michigan, so that's it. Was really going to come down to that on how their season goes. So as long as I don't care if I win by 1 or 40, as long as I take care of these CPU games, I don't really care yet until I get into that heavy user stretch. But moving on, I want to go over some team stats that kind of stood out to me when I was looking earlier. So this is before the sim took place. So some of our teams that are leading points per game, Ohio State, they're leading points per game, 52 point. I didn't even realize Zoom meetings end in 10 minutes. All right, so we're gonna pick the pace up here. So Ohio State points per game, 52.2. Texas is right behind them at 50.3, and then Penn State at 48.5. Ohio, 13.2. So they're on the low end of the stick, very different from the 52.2. And then Vandy had like in a middle ground at 21.4. Well, let's see. Kind of going to move this along here. Turnover differential, Wisconsin minus 11, Ohio minus 9, Kentucky is a positive plus 6. Ooh, interceptions. I think this is total that the defense has picked off. Georgia has 12, Nebraska has 12, Kentucky 11. Yards per game, you're up here with 584.8 points allowed. You're doing great. Only have 53 points allowed for the entire year, and that didn't even change through week 7. So another shutout. I'm sure you're still leading there. So just some of the stuff that stood out. You have a 57% third down conversion rate. Um, ECU has a 30% there, one of the lowest in the league. So you can kind of point to some of these and say, hey, this is why. Some keys to victory, basically. All right, moving on here to week 8. Game of the week, we got Wisconsin at Ohio State. This is going to be a good Wisconsin off of loss. They need to get back on the win column here. Ohio State also off. I don't think they're 5-1, so they lost a non-conference game. So I think they lost to Texas. So they're going to be looking to continue their Big Ten win streak here. Who you got in this one? Thoughts on this?
Ohio State, and I think the only thing that this game is going to come down to stadium pulse, yeah, because it's
Mm,
hard to go into uh, a venue like that and perform and not make audibles and hot routes. That's going to be tough, and that's what this game's probably going to come down to.
yep, I agree 100%. I'm with you. Writing Ohio State, Arkansas at Georgia. Another one where Arkansas coming off of a loss. Georgia is looking to continue that win streak. He gets another home game where he gets the opportunity for stadium pulse. I'm riding with Georgia here. What about you?
Yeah, Brydwin, Georgia, not much to say here. Arkansas, just watch out for that boy Delp.
Yeah, I mean, Dope is absolutely on fire. This is a CPU game. Rutgers at Nebraska. I'm pretty confident going into this one. What do you think?
I'm hammering the Nebraska money line on this one.
Nebraska money line. Even though Rutgers just beat Wisconsin, Nebraska.
I think you'll handle business in this one.
Florida coming into Vanderbilt. Um, did we talk about Vandy last week? Did they play?
Vandy played Georgia last week, I
Yeah.
believe.
Okay. Yep. If you're right. So Vandy 2-5, 1-3. This is a second ranked Florida. They beat Texas in that fair sim game. It's going to be a tough one for Vandy here.
But I'll take Vandy
Hey,
over the
upset,
CPU.
upset, upset. Okay, I'm gonna ride with you up here. All right, Kansas at Illinois. Kansas after a pretty bad loss to you, taking on an Illinois team that just kind of got their business handled 2 weeks in a row. I'm
I'm
going
going to
Kansas.
take Yeah, I'm going to take Kansas in this one because they really need a get back game.
Yep, really need to get back on track. Want to make a bowl game, so even if your season's over for the playoffs, you still want to get these wins to get some recruits. If you go 1-10 or 1-11, these recruits do not want to come to you. Arizona State at Ole Miss. I think this one here, Arizona State takes.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're very good offensively. Ole Miss isn't ranked either, and they're 1-2 in conference play.
Mm.
Arizona State all day.
User game in the American, we have Charlotte at Liberty. Liberty looking to continue their 3-0 in the American, going against a win or excuse me, one win American team in Charlotte. I think both of these players, I played both of them in my non-conference schedule. They're both equally as competitive. This is not going to be a free game for Liberty by any means. What do you think happens
I'm going to take the underdog here. I'm going to go Charlotte going into
here?
Liberty.
Okay, yeah,
I'm going to be
fuck
a
Roosh.
believer.
Yeah, Roosh is a bitch, so that's a good pick. Um, Penn State traveling to Iowa City, Iowa. I'm pretty confident that Penn State gets the job done here. I mean, I think it could be considered a trap game. But I think trap game in your context really just means wins by 17 or 21 over wins by 40 or 50. So,
Yeah, if I don't win
uh,
by 30, this is considered a loss.
so Penn State, Iowa, we got Ryan with Penn State there. Another user game this time in the SEC. We have Texas at Kentucky. Kentucky's been competitive. This is going to be a huge test for Kentucky. This is going to be a tough Texas team to play. But they get the home environment. Something about Kroger Field. What do you think?
I know Stadium Polls isn't going to be too bad, but they are 5-1. I'm going to take Kentucky just because they're at home. That potentially it could be the difference in this game, and they seem to be playing very well right now.
Okay. I'm gonna ride with Texas here. I think they have put up solid performances on offense. ECU at Wake Forest. ECU riding high off of a win, their first American win. Do they continue it here in Winston-Salem?
I'm going to be a hater here. That Wake Forest team is
Mm,
pretty good. I'm going to go
Deshaun
Wake
Purdy,
Forest on this one.
fastest running back in the game. Wake Forest does it here. Interesting. Last but not least, we have another American game is FAU at Ohio. Ohio's been solid defensively. They're still looking for a lot of answers on the offensive side of the football. But will be a big American win to get here. This is how I get it done.
Yes, if they don't win, it's 0-5 Florida Atlantic. I think they need to
Yeah, they
be
need to
booted.
they need to be booted. All right, calling the shot. All right, well that kind of wraps it up. I had on the bottom here. I had interception leaders. Diego Pavia with Vanderbilt at 16. Edwards, Wisconsin at 13. Ohio's quarterback has 10. So clean it up, fellas. Clean it up. But that being said, I mean, I appreciate Austin for joining us today on this episode. I mean, you and I are both excited for playoffs to come. So we got a tough stretch of games. I can't even say that we're marked down for the playoffs because a lot can happen in this next 5 to 6 weeks of college football. So good luck to everyone. It's already advanced, so you can play your games whenever. And yeah, appreciate you, Austin.
See ya.
Later.